First of all, Ron, that must feel, when you wake up after you beat Tom Brady, that the cinnamon roll must have tasted better this morning, right?
Yes, it did. Thank goodness. It tasted great.
Now, let's talk Chase Young. That breaks your heart. I saw it television. I'm just sick to my stomach. Let's talk about that and how does it change your defense?
Well, first of all, it was a tough break. I mean, he's a heck of a young man. He works hard at his craft. He wants to be great. He really does. And, he's one of those guys that you pull for, you cheer for, and you just know that he'll come back stronger and better and ready to roll. How it changes, we're gonna play some guys that are basically new to everybody. Yeah, they're young guys that have had opportunities that have helped us in the past. That they're guys that are going to get opportunities to come out and show us what they can do. James Williams-Smith, who we drafted from NC State, will get an opportunity. Casey Toohill, who played at Stanford, was drafted by Philadelphia, who we plucked last year. He has an opportunity to be part of what we're going to do the next few weeks. So we'll see how things go.
Ron, when you got a young team, you got a young quarterback, and there are Sundays which reverberate, and you beat Brady. You gave him a heck of a battle last year in the playoffs. Taylor Heinicke again. Is this the kind of win to you that you can sell? You can sell that to your roster and say, guys, we haven't played great in the last 3 weeks. Like, what does this win mean? Because beating an Aaron Rodgers or a Brady, it is different, Ron. It feels different to players.
It does, because last year we went through the same thing. Down the stretch, one of the things that I talked about was giving ourselves an opportunity to win the division, and that's what we did. We went up and played Pittsburgh. And when they were still the only undefeated team in the league, and that was something that we really got a little bit of traction out of. So, we're going to work towards this and see if we can use this to help catapult us in the right direction.
You also worry with young teams if you beat Brady the following week. This league is so crazy now. There's no more normal weekends. Now you got Cam, and the advantage for you is you watched a lot of Cam footage and practice. You do know his tendencies. Do you feel like as a coach, I know what Cam does. I know what I can do against him. Do you feel like that's an edge for you?
Wow, I know last year and a half he spent a lot of time in the New England system. It's going to be a little bit different. I know, look at some of the stuff Carolina does. They do some things different. So really it's going to be how he's going to handle his situation with what they do. I am looking forward to it. I'm a big fan. I've always been a big fan of his just because he's the right type of guy. I've always believed that for what we tried to do back then. So it'll be interesting. I really do. I really do believe it's interesting. But I'm happy for him. Happy he's got his opportunity again because he went home to Carolina where he started his career.
It's interesting. I've watched the Jags beat the Bills, the Bengals roll the Ravens at home. You guys really controlled Brady yesterday, and you start looking around this league and you're like, I don't know what to make of it. Or am I over-exaggerating? Is this every year? But it does feel like, Ron, it does feel like the bottom's tiny and the top is tiny. Yep. That's what it feels like to me.
Yep. And I think that's kind of the direction we're heading because there's so many great players that are coming out now that you're going to have to be an exceptional team. I mean, a truly exceptional team to get ahead in this league from now on. I believe that. I just believe that the league is working towards where everybody, like you said, there's not a lot up here and not a lot down here. We're all in the middle. And who's going to get to the playoffs is going to be the team that's the best out of the middle guys that will be in the wild card game. So it's going to be interesting to see how this rest of the season unfolds.
Taylor Heinicke we always call him a gamer. You can win games with him. There's no question. He's not a big guy. He's not going to push the ball down the field like some guys. But there is a value to belief. Like I think Cam to Carolina, players like him. He adds energy, juice to the locker room. Is that kind of what Taylor is for you?
Yes, that's exactly what he is. He brings some energy. He brings some juice. His teammates believe in him. I mean, they think if we're close and he gets the ball in the fourth quarter, the guys believe he has a chance to score. I mean, that was kind of shown last year in our playoff run at the end, and now we see it again this year. Every time we've been in the fourth quarter, we needed something. He's been able to get us down there. So it's been exciting watching him develop and helping our football team to develop.
Ron, this is very much an offensive league. The rules have changed, made it harder for you, but yet your Belichick's and your Sean McDermott's, you won your division last year. How much of a challenge is it for you? Your secondary yesterday played much better. but you can't, 8 years ago, you grab a guy off the line. You could do so many different things on the Bears team you played with. You could be so much, intimidation's hard now. You touch a quarterback, it's a flag. Give me a challenge for you as a defensive coach that there are times you're like, I swear to God, this league's working against me. I can't use my tricks.
One of the things that I see that's really changed, obviously, has been the holding calls, the way they're called. I mean, again, we've talked about allowing guys to use their hands a little bit more, and so the hard part for that is really, if you're a pass rusher, if you're trying to fit into your gaps as far as run defense, there's an opportunity for you to get pulled and tugged and torqued and turned, as opposed to when you're able to just play downhill, get in your gap, hold your spot, and not have to worry about getting pulled out of the way. I mean, that's one of the things that makes it hard, because we want to keep the flow of the game going. We don't want to see a lot of penalties. And I think that's, that's kind of the feeling throughout the league. And that's one of the things that makes it different. The other thing that's making it different more so than anything else, too, is really the style of play. Back in the day, the tempo wasn't as fast. It was, you huddle, you get yourself set, you get yourself going. Now with this hurry-up style of offense at times, teams aren't substituting as much. They're playing a lot more 11 personnel, meaning they got 3 wide receivers and 1 tight end. You're trying to have to adapt and change things to fit what they're doing. Now you see more 12 personnel, and that other tight end is a guy that's more like a big wide receiver. So it's really changing a lot of the strategy, a lot of the philosophy as far as defense is concerned as well.
Yesterday was a really important game for you guys because Philadelphia won and Dallas won, and, it matters. You got to play to your division. Mm-hmm. What was your message to the team as we start the second half of the season after the game last night?
Well, the best thing is that, hey, we've got a 4-week stint. Let's see what happens in those 4 weeks. Let's see if we can put ourselves in position. Because down the stretch in December, we've got 5 division games, okay? And we play them 5 weeks in a row. We're playing one of our division opponents. And I believe it's going to go Dallas, Philly, New York. And I think somewhere along the lines, you're going to give yourselves an opportunity to figure out which team's going to win the division, which one's going to give themselves a chance to get into the playoffs.
Congratulations, beating Brady. Savor that. Not a lot of people do. He's got a few rings.
No, I know.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Congrats, Ron.
All right. Thanks, Colin. Appreciate it.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.